All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Michael Valentine, and I'm going to be arguing why states in the international system should militarily intervene in Myanmar due to the actions of the junta against the Rohingya Muslim people. So, to give a little background, this really all started in 2016, 2017, with the persecution of the Rohingya Muslims in Myanmar, which had been going on for years but taken to another level, which was only accelerated with a military coup against the government, where the junta are now in power essentially in Myanmar. Essentially what's been happening is there were over 25,000 Rohingya people killed by 2018, and hundreds of thousands have been displaced to neighboring countries at this point in time. I know we talked a lot about discourse in an earlier module of this class, and how important it is to define something as genocide versus not, which is what Dr. Ripley was talking about. And so for a couple years, the UN and other international organizations really weren't calling this genocide until January of 2020, where the ICJ actually ruled that Myanmar must protect all of the Rohingya people from facing any sort of persecution, because they've hundreds of thousands of people have been displaced, raped, villages have been pillaged. It's just awful. So the one kind of aspect of international law that I wanted to bring up, that would support my argument of why states should intervene militarily, and I'll read word for word here from the UN's website, is the responsibility to protect. So this is a principle that was adopted in 2005, and it essentially says that each individual state, and I'll quote directly here, has the responsibility to protect its populations from genocide if that state itself is not able to protect its populations from genocide. The international community, through the United Nations, has the responsibility to try diplomatic approaches, humanitarian and other peaceful means. And then what the statement goes on to say is that if that fails, and should peaceful means be inadequate, it is within the rights of the states to intervene with force. So at this point in time, in post-2021, the Myanmar military, now controlled by the junta, has carried out a nationwide crackdown of millions of people who are pro-democracy and pro-equal rights for the Rohingya people. So they've arrested thousands of people. Thousands more have been displaced in the last year, and it's a situation that's not getting any better. And so that's, at this point in time, why I agree, based on the principle of the United Nations that was adopted in 2005, the responsibility to protect, that it's fully within the rights of the states, international states, to intervene at this point in time, because nothing is getting any better. And one argument that was even mentioned in the United Nations website, where I found this doctrine outlined, was that they don't want to see the mistakes that happened in Rwanda and in the Balkans in the 90s repeated again, where it was too late to intervene in a situation that very well could have been prevented. So that's my argument for why international states should intervene in the genocide that is occurring in Myanmar.